Okay, we are back. We are back. Really happy with yet another mini analysis, short analysis of your current geopolitical standings, mainly between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran. We're going to look at the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, pila pila, and understand the whole. Is there really an understanding? Because it doesn't really look like it. I want to name. Marfidi. Before I call, I'm your boy, Abuti Chopper. One getting one bit Abuti Chopper, but then yeah, IG, you can create more Abuti Chopper. And then I hope you're good. I hope Lisa Le Chapo. By Lauren, why can't ever pay again attention to my videos. I appreciate the love and support, and please continue doing the most. Fair. I cost anything. So fair, are not homelang. So the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding between the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran was signed mid-June, and it was signed electronically. Bear in mind, it was signed electronically between the two countries, or the two representing senior statesmen. So we're gonna focus on basically the first 5 points, because it was set up in the beginning for disaster. It was set up in the beginning, I honor it was succeed this peace deal. Looking at the point, so it was a 14 point. It was a 14 point peace plan, basically. Most of the points were compiled or were being created by Iran, and it was looked at by the senior members of the American government as a loss, basically. So the senior members, of the United States government and the public are against the 14 peace plan. Majority of them are against the 14 peace plan, because is it is giving, but again it was giving because now it collapsed, and we'll get to the reasons why. It was giving the Iranians, or the Iranian government, everything they were saying the previous deal, the JCPOA, was not giving them. So the current deal was giving Iran more than a deal in Obama, and Trump was saying, or nah, the JCPOA was the worst deal ever for the world and E. But then the current deal, it's been said or seen to be worse than the previous Obama deal. So Pila guy only bomile batho for nothing, basically. So the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding was signed electronically. Bear in mind, the two parties never actually met in one room and valevela face to face when the signing of this document was going on. So it was signed electronically. Omong was in Islamabad, and then Trump was, I guess, sure if it was the G7 meeting. Elon was held in Europe, or Vele he was in Washington DC when it was signed. But then but I'm fact check about waiting that. But then the deal was signed electronically. So the first point in that memorandum of understanding was saying the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran and all their allies in the current war are signing this MOU to declare the immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon, and undertake from now on not to initiate any war or any military operation against each other, and to refrain from the threat or use of force against each other, and ensuring the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Lebanon. The final deal will confirm the permanent termination of the war on all fronts, including Lebanon and other provisions of this paragraph. Now, first and foremost, you may realize or Israel wasn't actually named fail. It was included in all other parties, allies. Ne? And the first point of this peace plan was saying for us who peace fail, sustainable peace, Israel has to withdraw from Lebanon. That's what Iran is saying. So Iran our guys, we're not going to stop the war unless Israel withdraws from Lebanon. Now already EU already move is a sabotage because we know how Israel Iran to and it was never ever going to what agree to the first condition because it wasn't even consulted by the USA about this condition, you know, for there to be peace and the war to end, kinda, for the war to end, kinda, Israel has to withdraw from Lebanon. So already move a -1 point because I had 5 days. The day after the MOU was signed, Israel refused to halt its operations, shifting its focus towards a parallel trilateral framework agreement to shape South Lebanon while maintaining active military enforcement. So the same script or by Gaza currently, or Gaza or the West Bank is the same thing Lebanon, in meaning they are not going to fully withdraw from the territory they've already taken. So President Donald J. Trump, or Trump in short, seeing her them niggas Israel was never really going to listen to what he's saying. So I would, on a side note, on a side deal, made a side deal between what the government in Lebanon, the government in Lebanon, and not Hezbollah. Two different things. Donald Trump brokered a peace deal between Israel and the government in Lebanon. And the deal which was signed in late June, Israel, upon that deal, agreed to a phased military withdrawal from South Lebanon. This allowed the Lebanese army to take over specific security sectors. So Israel and the Lebanon government barely deal. They signed a deal over there in Washington DC. Basically saying, okay, guy, the plague gets the army, Israel. Or the shifter, ready for what? The army Lebanon. Slowly but surely, because Lebanon is the home country. The Lebanese army is their country, so they must maintain and control those zones. They're going to what? To switch places. So Israel is going to slowly withdraw, and when it's withdrawing, the Lebanese army will mobilize and take over control the territories in which they were Israel, and the territories Israel is capturing. Okay, you might say, oh, that is fine, but then you're missing one important part. Hezbollah are the military participant while they are fighting with Israel. So you can't make a deal with the Lebanese army and without Hezbollah and think the war is going to stop. It's like trying to find it's like curing, it's like when you go for this same thing without finding the cause, because all you're doing is just treating the same thing and the cause will always be there. More you think you're better or more happen. So that's what Anthony Iran feel. So the pilot zones, the Lebanese army successfully entered southern villages of Ashiala Mabitwa happen, Mabitwa dangerous villages of Zata, Al Gabia, and Dieseyan to begin clearing the streets for returning residents. Because Batu never chavile, because of the military strikes of Israel there by South Lebanon, the Israel Valley has successfully given some parts or territory to the Lebanese army, and then the army is securing clearing the mines, because Israel is the mine their mines, their military weapons left for war, their constructions, what. So Israel, the Lebanese army is clearing those places for the residents ba ile reng gore na ba nna tang ba bowe ba to yo zama go ira gore build hape bophelo bo tswele pele fe. And what military obstruction fee, despite the agreed upon transfer, the Lebanese army formally accused Israel of directly violating the truce. Israel continued to shell, bulldoze, conduct machine gun combining operations in the areas surrounding these exact pilot villages. So the very places Israel agreed to give up to the Lebanese army, Israel is slowly demolishing them, slowly and initiating military strikes there. So slowly bulldozing bridges, the infrastructure, railroads. So basically, Kobozora guy, Nalwana peace, Mar, Horwajik, Felago Batahab, Horwajik, Felago Batahab. So you might say, guy, Mar, it doesn't really make sense for you. Real peace in Nalwana, if every time real peace, we're not on backstab out of the blue. And on so like in the world of common sense, everything like Israel, the way it's carrying out, if we attack common sense, you would say it doesn't make sense because you can't agree a deal with people and then the same time have a photo jigger. The very same things they were wrong over Fator, so that's kind of fucked up. But then okay, so no okay. Point number 2 point number 2 of the memorandum of understanding. So point number 2 was saying the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran to undertake, respect each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and to refrain from interfering in each other's internal affairs. Propaganda. So basically, A was saying, okay, guys, in this period of a ceasefire, like, I wrote an dealing le government le population in your own country. Like I wrote when we're dealing with our own population in our own country. The things we're gonna tell them and the things we're gonna tell them may not match. Mara, we're no side Nagar as a country, then as a country. So basically, I think I should take it high. So yeah, for a certain period of time, point number 2, you're now okay, it's fine. There's no problem a whole that much for point number 2. Okay, so what? The United States of America and the Islamic, point 3. The United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran commit to negotiating and achieving the final deal in maximum 60 days, extendable with mutual consent. So the memorandum was saying, okay, we are stopping fire for now, and then we'll have an extra 60 days for us to find a permanent solution to this problem, a permanent peace deal. So basically, scam happened. Scam. The 60 days Pila was used to what? To reaffirm, re-establish, re-arm, reposition themselves. Or Bayola di ammunition tabona, ba di stockpiling hape, ba lukise equipment ya bona, ba be infiltrate ya bona. Iran ya polle bargain the bomb tse lorong hore the missile tse lorong hore they were trapped under the rubble by the American strikes and operations there by Iran. They don't excavate their missile cities in their mountains. So everyone used this peace deal, meaning Iran and America used this peace deal to say what? Okay, Arkutsenya Boswaga, Otokogo Munga Guinea Maka Tata Hape, Rewo, Rotobomana, Rotolepere, one or big plague. So okay, point number 3, Leona, it was relatively nothing major with it. Everyone understood it from both sides. Okay, so point number 4. Upon immediately signing the MOU, the United States of America will begin the removal of its naval blockade and any disturbances or impediment against the Islamic Republic of Iran, and will fully end the naval blockade within 30 days. During this period, the traffic of the vessels will will be in proportion to the numbers of the pre-war traffic being restored by the Islamic Republic of Iran. The United States of America will undertake the removal of its forces from the proximity of the Islamic Republic of Iran within 30 days after the final deal. So basically, since Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz, so America is okay. Since we are now closing the Strait of Hormuz, we're gonna blockade you with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. So basically, we're now they're not our block. So no one's going out. You can't export your things. Now, based on the point number 4, the MOU was saying America, within 30 days of signing the MOU, must remove all its naval blockade. For Iran, first and foremost, not for everyone, for Iran, so that Iran will then allow all the ships before the war, normal traffic to resume. But then, point number 4 rests on what? The understanding hearing Iran will be the ones who will be in charge of what? Basically navigating the Strait of Hormuz route in that waterway, narrow waterway, Strait of Hormuz. So Iran will conduct things. That was the understanding, and the understanding wherein America will remove its naval blockade. Mara. Point number 4, point number 5, almost the same thing. Number 5. So upon the signing of this MOU, the Islamic Republic of Iran will make arrangement using its best efforts for the safe passage of commercial vessels with no charge. So Iran was saying, guys, before the war, everyone was free to move here. Now, since the war, we've been charging a tax for people to move here because there's waterway. And Pila, to be technically correct, they didn't really close the waterway. They just threatening the ships because if Iran is able to blow up one ship every now and then, the insurance companies that cover the ships, they are carrying everything, oil, Joe, minerals, etc. They saying, guys, we won't cover you because that's dangerous. And the cost of the insurance companies more if you guys level off it and then Iran bomb. So Iran, they can't actually close the thing, really close it. Mar, by them being able to threaten violence every time a ship passes there, the insurance companies will tell the ships, guys, we're not gonna cover those ships. So since we're not gonna cover those ships, and the people on those ships will not risk their lives. So you see the like, bearing in mind, we were not even at the reason or the war started. No, like this war began, or more or less it was. They told us, or this war began because Iran, need nuclear weapons. That's what they were telling us. Or we have to go to war with Iran to stop them from making what? Nuclear weapons. Mara, from point number 1 and to point number 5 of the MOU, we're not even at the nuclear weapon stage. Right now, the war is about the Strait of Hormuz, not about nuclear weapons. So it shifted from what it was in the beginning to what it is now. And now some might say, or because of the shift and the consistent inconsistencies of the American administration, to be far-fetched, to be exact, of the Donald Trump administration, the inconsistencies of them, that nigga, because since the MOU, Akitu threatening the Iranian government the likes of Robo Galibafu, Akitu threatening them niggas, Donald Trump. So, guy is impulsive and opala go to mar asorge stop it. I thought like you can make the connection enough. The way he's negotiating, you might say he's failing. Mara, it's still the US, and then at the end of the day, type shit. So Pila, the breakdown, the timeline of the breakdown. The two parties, Navasa Kono agree about the senior. Iran will be the ones to control the navigation. It's not that Iran to charge a fee. Mar, Iran will be the ones because Iran was saying, nah guys, Mar, you have to talk to us. Because now, the Oman is the current status. We control this thing, we are the ones with the power here. So for you to do your things here, you must talk to us. You don't have to pay us, Mar, you have to talk to us. So that was the big problem of the MOU. United States, they agree dicey because of did then like senior, everyone was free to pass there without any consultation in the beginning. Now we have to consult, meaning these guys are emerging as the fourth. What some are saying, Iran is emerging as the fourth center of power. Meaning you have China, you have Russia, you have the United States, and then you also have Iran in the next 5 years, 10 years, because of the action it's raising. So okay, because of this, the reimposition of the naval blockade. 14 July, following several disagreements regarding the administrative control and toll collections over the Strait of Hormuz, Iran struck commercial vessels. In response, the US formally reinstated the full naval blockade on Iranian ports, violating the core economic terms of the MOU. So Iran was sending a message, your guys, we're still in charge here. We may be in the MOU, but we're still in charge. So the vessels ladies are sneak through the Strait of Hormuz, what the bomb. So because of that, US are okay, ne sharp fee. We back ne. Rebusheta in blockade. Now because US saying blockade da, Iranian Maragai. Okarga point number 2 or number 3 da or number 4. It's the most important point. Or you have to take away your blockade, guys. So when are you putting your blockade here? Happen. So you are violating the violation. Yeah. You are violating the violation. So because of that, Iran are okay, back to war. So fatal kinetic escalations, escalate happen. We're never go piecing yan. So no rabuela slowly ruela happen to war ilayar in a 2 million hand. 17 July, Iranian-backed drones struck on US facilities in Jordan and Iraq. They resulted in deaths of 3 American service members. Slow escalation. Iran are okay, or blogging again, or a remote event. Keep a missile, keep them up on with. Iranian launch. Where launch them toward the bases in Iraq and Jordan. Possibly, reportedly, those missiles or Iranian attacks killed 3 service members for the United States service members. Masola Ago State, Island they were stationed there by Jordan and Iraq. Donald Trump instantly declared the peace deal off and threatened devastating strikes against Iranian infrastructure. So because of this, Trump was like, deal is off. To everyone who's been watching, the deal has been off for a while. From the day the deal was signed, the deal was off. We were waiting for this type shit. So Trump are not failed, guy. Because Bumi Masola, guy. Like, it's ironic, when the war started, America and Israel bombed a girls' school in Iran. On my first days, initially after assassinating the Ayatollah Khomeini, they bombed girls' schools in Iran. Bana 150 something bana fela ke school America bombs gelasi 150 something. Okay, again Iran ebola maso bale ke civilian ba ke ba Iran ebola maso Iran. It's enough for America to say what? Everything off. So the scales of proportionality or whose lives matter than whose is not the same. It's not the same according to all parties. Like it hurts more for America who lose Amasolama 3 than it should hurt Iran who lose Banaba 150. Ke common sense ya America your canceller deal or Masola Kama 3 are more important than 156 or something. I'm not sure about the number, 100 and something girls there, schools. So already that mindset is already like common sense also zero there. Marafe. Okay. Following Dyson, CENTCOM failed. The US Central Command failed. Launched what? 7 consecutive nights of heavy airstrikes against Iran, coastal services, military facilities, proxy assets, leaving over 50 dead. After Dyson, Iran. No, Vela, Somar MOU is gone. We are dead. Back to full on now. So I was on a peace. There was a piecing. No, the full on. So I want after Dyson, Yamasolama 3, CENTCOM, American Central Commander, I guy. So when I 50 compared to 3, Marafe, we not like death is death. I'm not over 3 or over 50. Like it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But then in the context of war and geopolitics, like the ratios will not add up, and based on Kemang boss or like Kemang superpower, we are inclined to care about some deaths than other deaths. You call the media, the propaganda, pusher type shit. So basically, everything gave back to what? Square one. Back to what? Hostile activities back and forth between Iran and America. Again, America now is resorting to Iranian facilities. I saw Bomadi military assets fell no Bomadi power plant, Mabrichi. Like you can see the scale of escalation on board. Iran also is also saying, guys, we're not gonna stand for this fail. So Iran is taking the initiative, more of the initiative, and launching what? Its own strikes against the American bases in the region. And when the war started, the number of bases that were fine and intact, the selling sharp of it, no, completely different field. Or no, Iran, big damage to the bases around the regime, America. So probably most of them are not usable anymore. That's what the reports are saying. Or the bases in America are not usable anymore. Or fucked up. Iran is over Mara, media, mainstream media, so we back to hostile activities type shit. Israel and Lebanon ba busy hape le bona ka ntlhela. Israel ha no zaya ka ntlhela. So basically the war is returning to where it was kind 28 or after 28 basically. It's still continuing. And people might be saying, well, you all said, hey, when this war started, like, it's basically the end, the fatsilo fela, the oil, but then people are still living relatively calm, the law are still moving. What's up with that fee? Like, it's almost like, okay, it's like China feel since we're living in a global economy feel, or there is a feel like the global oil shock that like China reduced significantly the imports it's about a fee. Like it took over 60 or 70% the imports. They never every day it's oil, but they reduce it the fee. So that kinda put a buffer the economy is a continue is sustain it's a maybe the price in the stock market is in the fee. And the MOU happen still 3 weeks 4 weeks so it was able to bring my relative Kamunyana and serenity to things for a certain extent, but then as where we at right now, we are continuing with the war. Slowly but surely, and now I'll be here to give you guys as best as I can feel the honest reaction and breakdown or guy. Common sense is not common sense here. Or you could see. And if you're gonna think of these things and about kaka common sense, a lens or a framework or the guys in power or the government or the what they care about the civilians, like it's all a game. I get like I like to say, or it's all a game. But then, as much as it's a game, you must understand and know the game and the rules, so you can better equip yourself for fail on how you're gonna play the levels. Still, or game, like and a fee. But then, hey, it's been your boy at Chopper SA go IG feed, and hey, I wanna couple uno like a feed. If I can like subscribe go YouTube, if I can subscribe or comment, if I can comment or share, if I can reshare or repost, like something na for I want Mara again, it's all love and appreciation, guys. So yeah, tune in for another episode. I think sometime in the future. Yeah, tune in for another episode. We'll be looking at the conflict currently happening around the world. There are approximately 160 conflicts. So yeah, but then it's getting to a lot of best and I hope I'm giving some light to what the picture I make it sense. Like it's not supposed to make sense. And if you take it from that aspect, you'll be better able to make sense of it. So yeah, who gets in contradictions in the world of geopolitics. So again, but then yeah, it's been your boy. Until we're back again, we out.